Hello, Moshpit Passion viewers. My name is Kayo. Right next to me is Andreas of Sepultura, and we will do an interview. Andreas, so your new record came out 1.5 years ago. So how satisfied are you?
Wow, man, we've been working non-stop since the album came out. The reaction when it came out was amazing, very positive. The fans and critics and we're still touring for Machine Messiah, which is amazing, you know. And I'm very happy with all the result we got from the work. Working with Jens, and was a very demanding album to record, you know. Have a lot of different songs that we never did before, work with different people and everything. But everything we tried differently, you know, worked out so great. And we still play a lot of the songs from Machine Messiah, and people relate with that, you know, like they were listening to the album from start to end. I think that was our objective, you know, to make an album that people could listen to everything, like a story, you know. So very happy with everything, and doing the festival run now. I think it's gonna be our last, you know, leg in Europe for Machine Messiah. But very happy with everything. It's fantastic.
So the people could also follow the whole tour documentary on your social media accounts, but you already released an own Sepultura documentary which came out last month or so. And do you plan maybe to put it on a physical disc?
Oh, definitely. I mean, the movie came out last year in Brazil in many movie theaters. We had the Sepultura Day, was June 14th, if I'm not mistaken, last year. And the movie was released in many different movie theaters around Brazil, which was like something unthinkable, you know, for a heavy metal documentary to have such a opportunity, you know, to take the movie, but still was very limited, you know. It stayed in movie theaters for a couple of weeks, you know, and then it was a part of many movie festivals around the world, in Europe, in Asia, in South America, in North America, and now in Brazil on the last July 13th. It's available on these platforms, you know, like iTunes and Now and whatever we have in Brazil. And we're working to have this format, you know, in Europe and the States. Maybe Netflix and stuff, you know, we're still talking about. But and the next step after that, you know, of course, is to put like in physical, you know, format that people who didn't have the chance, you know, to see and to watch in all those opportunities, you know, can buy the stuff.
Do you have maybe an idea to put maybe a live concert or concert disc with a DVD from the Machine Messiah tour on it, or are you open-minded about it?
We have the show that was recorded in São Paulo in 2015, which were we celebrating the 30-year anniversary of Sepultura. We played like all the eras of the band, you know, songs from all the albums and everything. It's a very complete show, you know, historically speaking. And that's a possibility, you know, because it was professionally recorded, and many parts of the show, it's a part of the documentary as well, you know. But yeah, we have this plan to put it out all together, but no specifically date yet, you know. We're still gonna see how we're gonna deal with the platforms, and then when we ready to put it out, you know, we're gonna know the date better.
Nice, man. Documentary in history is a good point. Like you see, I brought a box here, and inside this box there are records from Sepultura and also bands from, let me say, friendship and historic. So, and I want that you put a CD or vinyl out and tell us something what comes up in your mind, or I will ask something.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
I'm scared now.
Yeah.
So, the black box.
So I put this on.
What's gonna do it here? Let's see. Ah, it's all like a. Okay.
All packed. This one.
What is it? Sodom.
Agent Orange.
Agent Orange. Awesome. Oops, sorry. Show. Autographed. Yeah, this album, it was the tour our first tour ever outside Brazil back in 1989. We toured with Sodom on the Agent Orange tour. It was their biggest album up to that point, you know, and we did a tour together. It was amazing experience for us, you know, first time outside Brazil. We did our first show in Vienna in 1989, and you know, we end up being good friends, you know, afterwards. Was very difficult for us because we didn't speak very good English, no German at all, you know. They were at the peak, you know, and we have to share the tour bus, which was very difficult, you know, for them, I believe, and we were living our dream, you know. We played at the Marquee Club, we played, the German tour was really big, you know, and we played in Paris for the first time, and it was a fantastic tour, you know. I have really good, always great memories for it, and it's a great album too.
Yeah, next one.
Okay. Me get this
CD.
A heavy CD.
Oh yes, it's the Anthrax.
Alright.
I have to tell something about it. I saw a concert of the Big Four, Anthrax, Slayer, Megadeth, and Metallica in Gelsenkirchen, and first concert was Anthrax. And I was looking in, and I said, that guy with the long hair.
Where is God?
Who's that? Who's that? And I know these moves, this head banging and the guitar. I thought, is it Andreas Kisser of Sepultura? And yes.
Yes, it was the first show. You know, first show of the tour. We only had one practice, and well, Scotty Ian called me like 6 months in advance because his wife was pregnant, and you know, his first son was to be born around the same period of time that they're supposed to do the 5 big four shows, you know. And apart from the 5 big four shows, we did extra shows as well in you know, in clubs and in different festivals. And on the last show, it was a festival in Holland, and Sepultura and Anthrax played together. You know, so I did a double show. Yeah, I played first with Sepultura for an hour, and then another hour with Anthrax, and it was so cool. You know, it's one of the best experience in my life. You know, was Anthrax was so important for me. You know, when I start playing guitar, and the riffs and the way of playing, right hand and everything. You know, the Big Four in general. You know, was always the root. You know, of what we do basically. You know, and to be a part of Anthrax for 2 weeks, you know, and play at the Big Four, the jam after, you know, Metallica at the end of the show, and everybody felt so great backstage. You know, it was a great vibe. Everybody having a lot of fun, you know, and unforgettable, you know. Thank you, Scotty.
So there's also still a good friendship.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, they came down to Brazil opening for Iron Maiden, and I joined them on stage, you know, to play Indians. Was fantastic. And another festival was playing with De La Tierra somewhere, with Anthrax, also played with them as well. So it's great, man. Scotty Ian jammed with us before, you know, and we play a little Sepultura on the set as well. So you know, the respect they have for Sepultura and for everything that we did, and just the trust, you know, on my abilities to be there and to play the music of Anthrax and stuff it's overwhelming, you know. It's amazing.
Nice. So yeah, the next one.
More?
Yeah.
Let me see what we have. It's kind of light.
Oh.
Case. So blind. I'm blind, Korn.
Korn. That fits.
Yeah, man, Korn. It's you know, we have a great relationship with Korn. Very respectful. You know, always when we meet, it's so great. You know, some type of a chemistry. It's there. You know. Last time we saw each other was a festival in Brazil, and it's even on the like on their documentary and stuff around me and Derek, and you know, we did Roots together with them, you know, in Brazil, like totally improvised, and that kind of stuff, you know, it happens because it's I don't know, it's easy for us, you know, because we know each other so well, we know the music of each other. It's I mean, we kind of blamed, you know, to influence the new metal generation, and they say that, you know, I mean, Fieldy once said to me that they were at 1994 Pantera, Sepultura, and Prong and Biohazard tour, and it was at the very day of Brazil being world champions of the World Cup. You know, Brazil won in the United States. We went to the stadium at midday to watch the game there. You know, celebrate with Brazil winning the World Cup after 24 years or so. And 6 o'clock, you know, in the afternoon, we were on stage opening for Pantera, one of the best tours we ever did. And Fieldy was there, you know.
Nice.
And he told me that he was watching that, and the vibe and the excitement, he cried, you know, like watching the show, and was like a very strong impact, you know. And maybe that also helped him really to you know, to be inspired to be in a band and to do what they do, and they're masters of what they do, you know. Korn is very unique, one of the best bands live to see and to enjoy, you know. And you know, very thankful also because we, you know, we learn with each other.
Definitely. And also there's one person in Korn's life, in Sepultura life,
Ross Robinson.
Yes,
yes, for sure. I mean, there's a lot of that going on. It was going on that time, and I mean, Jonathan Davis was a part of Roots as well. You know, he wrote a song together with Max, "Look Away," which we did in the studio, like the same way we did the Carlinhos Brown and stuff. You know, so that spirit was always very, very light. You know, very beautiful. You know, and it's great. You know, it's great to see they're still strong and going.
Nice. So here we go. CD or vinyl?
CD.
Let's take this one. No.
The Mediator. Talking about Ross Robinson.
So how was it after nearly 20 years to work with him?
It was great. I mean, we had an amazing experience on Roots. It was a very difficult album, you know, to record because we were already having a lot of problems, extra music and extra recording, and you know, consequently, you know, Max left the band after, you know, the tour and everything. But musically and artistically, you know, was a perfect situation, you know, because we could put all the frustration and all the good vibe that was going on as well together, you know, to produce something like Roots, which is an album that still today influenced so many different people, you know. And to go there back with Ross, we use some of the same equipment we use on Roots, you know, especially the guitar cabinet, which, you know, looks, you know, all fucked up and destroyed, but you have that sound, you know, that magical sound. And just to remember everything that we did, you know, all the good and all the bad stuff. We laugh a lot, and Ross is a very, you know, different type of producer, you know. He's very spiritual. It was the first album we did with Eloy Casagrande, you know. Working with Ross was an amazing experience for all of us, you know, especially for Derek, you know, as a singer. Ross is very, you know, tough on singers. You know, he pushed them really to break their limits, you know, and it's very hard, but at the same time, it's like, you know, you have to go through hell to get to paradise. You know, like Dante Alighieri. You know, you have really to face your enemies. You know, basically, and Ross is perfect for that. You know, because he really has like a wider concept of what the song should be and why the message should be, you know, strong, and how to deliver that message. You know, and Mediator was amazing because of that, you know. The album, it's very, you know, dark, I think.
Yes,
you know, yeah, progressive. It's very dirty, you know, a lot of effects, and that's freedom, you know. That was total freedom and total spontaneous movements and attitudes, you know, which is great. You know, I think it's very truthful of what we were feeling, you know, at the time. And Ross was always very important for him, the performance, you know, what we're doing now for us as well, you know, live in the present, you know, and be there. And it's great. It's a very trashy, difficult album too. You know, a lot of stuff that we never even played live, you know, like Tsunami, which is an amazing, you know, weird, crazy song that we like to bring to the stage, but we have to prepare ourselves.
So yeah, the last record, I think, give you this one.
You're choosing for me.
Yeah. I found this on the flea market for €1. It's first press original.
Oh my God. It's so heavy.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the sad thing about it. They cut out, but I
They
mean,
cut out Cliff.
the original master of puppets.
Master of Puppets.
So there's a special history, if I get it right, because when James Hetfield got his arm burned, you got the option to do an audition to play live shows with Metallica. That's right?
Yeah, that's right. It was on the Black Album tour. And on the tour of Master of Puppets, it happened an accident as well with James Hetfield. But this time he was like skateboarding. And he broke his arm, and then John Marshall, the guitar player from Metal Church, filled in, and Metallica kept the tour. You know, James Hetfield just singing, and that's why, you know, I think they did it again. You know, but this time they really wanted to try out options. You know. I thought it was great attitude, you know, because they were on their biggest tours ever, you know, Metallica and Guns N' Roses together playing stadiums, you know, in the United States. Fate No More opening, you know, was amazing. And you know, they let me, they gave me a spot there to go to the practice. I flew from Brazil to Denver, Colorado in the States. Next day I was there, you know, it was a limousine waiting for me. I went straight to the arena where they have all the equipment set up, you know, in a room there. And I went straight there and played, you know, a few songs. And they really love it, you know, because I stayed the next day, and me and John Marshall, you know, we were there as the finalists, you know, but I don't think I was prepared for that, you know. I always like a big Metallica fan, you know, huge Metallica fan, and I was overwhelmed about the possibilities and meeting them, you know, like on that situation. But they all were very, very nice, very supportive. Me and Jason Newsted especially, you know, we started a friendship like since then, you know, we did many works together and projects and stuff, you know. So it's great, you know. It was a great experience. Unfortunately, I didn't got the job, you know, per se, but just to be there and, you know, to see how they work and the respect they had for the musicians, you know, because they try out like Metallica cover bands from Canada, from different places, you know, and I thought it was great, and they gave me that spot. I was in Brazil, man, you know, like, okay, if you here like in a few days we're gonna have the practice this date and stuff, you know, you have a time that we're gonna, you know, play with you and so. Well, I'm there, you know, why not? And Phil Rand from Sacred Reich was the guy really to make that happen, you know, because we were, you know, the biggest Metallica fans, and we always talked about Metallica, playing Metallica, and Jason Newsted was a good friend from Phil, and Phil told Jason, you know, Andreas, I think he can do it, you know, because he knows the music and he can play whatever. And so yeah, okay, let's see. I got a chance and it was beautiful.
Yeah, unfortunately our time is running out. Thank you very much.
No worries, man. It was cool.
Our magazine is called Moshpit Passion, and always our artists are saying how their first moshpit experience was. Do you remember that? When, where, which band?
We had this Head Thrashers, you know, gang in São Paulo, Brazil. Actually, it's a city near São Paulo, neighboring São Paulo, and it was a huge following of the metal, punk, hardcore scene, you know, and local bands played like in very small places, and all the bands went there. So one band was on the stage, all the bands were there, like you know, on mosh pit and headbanging, mostly headbanging, you know. That was our style, you know, and stuff. But I remember the last mosh pit I went was in '92 at Ministry. When we were touring with Ministry, was insane. I was a little drunk, or maybe a lot drunk, but was one of the best moments too, man. Was great. Was intense.
Yeah, thank you very much, Andreas.
All right, thank you, man. It's great.
Bye. Thank you.
Thank you.